to be talking about reproducing. Now, reproducing means when animals or plants have babies. Animals have babies by laying eggs or by growing them in mummy's tummy. Plants have babies when they make seeds which can grow into new plants. Animals grow up and reproduce. They have offspring, that's another word for babies, so that their species does not die out. It doesn't matter if not every animal or every plant managed to reproduce, but it is important that most animals and plants reproduce so that their species does not die out. If there are not enough of a particular animal or a particular plant, then their population will just get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until there are none left. So, while some members of a species don't reproduce, and that's fine, it is important that most of them do. Now, some animals, like humans, produce only a few offspring. Mummies and daddies, like your mummy and daddy, don't have 100 babies. They only have a few. So they look after their babies while they're young. Other animals, like fish, produce lots of offspring. They lay hundreds and thousands of eggs. But those animals don't look after their offspring. Once a fish or a frog lays their eggs, they swim away and leave the eggs to look after themselves. Bet you didn't know that. Now, the offspring of animals that only have a few young don't know how to look after themselves when they're babies. Human babies and monkey babies need someone to look after them. They don't know how to do it by themselves. Other animals, like frogs or fish, as soon as they come out of their eggs, they already know how to look after themselves. They can find their own food and they can look after themselves pretty well. So they don't need their mummy and daddy fishy or mummy and daddy froggy to look after them. So, take a look at this table over here. You can see 4 different kinds of animals: birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish. In the second column, you have a particular species of that kind of animal. So, the bird we're talking about is a robin. And a robin lays between 4 to 6 eggs. So, does a mummy robin look after her babies? Yes, she does. They don't know how to look after themselves. That's why a robin doesn't lay very many eggs. Let's take a look at the next animal. The next animal is a reptile. It's a crocodile. A crocodile lays between 20 and 100 eggs. Does a crocodile mummy look after her babies? Yes, she does. Crocodile mummies put their babies inside their mouths and swims out to the water with them. Crocodile mummies also protect their eggs. Don't mess with the crocodile mummy's eggs, because she's gonna get ya. So, that's why she doesn't lay so very many eggs either. Let's take a look at the amphibian. Now, the amphibian we're talking about is a frog. A frog lays between 500 and 1,000 eggs. Does a frog mummy or a frog daddy look after the eggs? No. As soon as the tadpoles hatch out of their eggs, they can look after themselves. Okay? The fish we're talking about is called a herring. It's a particular kind of a fish. And a herring lays between 20,000 and 40,000 eggs. Do you think a herring mummy is going to look after all of those eggs? You're right. No, she's not. The herring look after themselves as soon as they're born. Okay, so look at this chart again. There are 4 animals: the robin, the crocodile, the frog, and the herring. So let's remember what we just talked about. Which of these animals lays the most eggs? Yes, you're right. It's the herring. Lots of eggs the herring lays. Okay, which animal lays the fewest eggs? That was easy. It's the robin. Okay, this one might be a little trickier. What does the robin mummy do that the herring mummy does not do? Absolutely right. The robin mummy looks after her babies, while the herring mummy does not. Fantastic! Great job! You guys are doing so well. So, let's think about everything we've learned about the science question, how do humans and animals stay alive? Let's start with what we learned about the life processes. How many life processes are there? Good, there are 5. And what are the 5 life processes? Pretty good, you guys are doing great. Breathing, eating and drinking, moving, growing, and reproducing. Fantastic. Really good. Now, let's remember the lesson that we had about how animals use their senses. First, what are the 5 main senses? Good. Seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. Which 3 senses would an antelope use to escape danger? Very good. Seeing, hearing, and smelling. Fantastic. Now, let's think about what we learned today. Young animals grow to become adults and live for one important reason. That reason is to Very good, to reproduce. And why is it important for most members of a species to reproduce? So that the species will not die out. My goodness, you guys are so clever! I am amazed! Well, next time we are going to start a new science question. What is it?